message of Islam from spreading, and they decided to kill the weak, those who had no protection, torture them. So the Prophet had ordered them to make that journey on as flimsy of boats as the ones we see today, across the Red Sea into East Africa, into Abyssinia, what's Ethiopia today. The Prophet ﷺ had no choice. And today, these migrants, the 9 million migrants who were forced out of their country in Syria, and many more from Iraq and other places, they are people without choice. Believe me, people don't like to leave their homes and businesses and risk their lives crossing the sea. But the enormous danger, the fact that many are dying every day under barrel bombs, under indiscriminate carpet bombing, they suffered and they're still suffering. So the first question is, why is this happening? There are multiple reasons, of course. There are the wars by proxy between Russia, the US, and its allies, Iran, and other countries, all vying for influence and control over the Middle East region, which is rich with oil and natural gas. All of these countries, they want to have the bigger piece of the pie they can get. They want to control energy resources. And that should be obvious. Allah blessed that region with enormous deposits. And for the last half a century at least, that region has seen nothing but war because of its rich deposits. But there is another dimension other than this proxy war, which they're trying to delicately control it so it doesn't get out of hand and end up with a World War III. So coordination between who can bomb where, at what time, is necessary, as was signed this week between the US and Russia, because everybody wants to fly over Syria and Iraq and bomb somebody. Everybody has friends and has foes, and mistakes will be made, and they have been made. Just like the lions and the hyenas in the savannah, they will fight over the kill. That's precisely what's happening here. The second dimension is the people of the region themselves. The past century, since the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, which contained so many ethnic groups and so many religions, the rise of nationalism was planted as an idea in the minds of everybody. Everybody wanted to have their own country, their own nation. And even though we see the West, Europe, the United States, we see Asia, they're coming together based on economic reasons, uniting and opening their borders and unifying their currencies. We still continue to see the emergence of new small nations. Every tribe and every nation wants to have their own flag, their own territory, their own language. And they think by dividing and redrawing the maps of the Middle East, that will produce peace. In a world that has been very diverse and very mixed. Literally, every family in the Middle East has this mixture between all the nationalities and ethnic groups in the area. And despite the fact that they may speak the same language and hold the same faith, Islam, but the superpowers that want to use them as proxies, they are using nationalism as the cause. And this call for nationalism turned into a curse that brought only death and destruction to those who are calling for it. A third dimension to this problem is religious and sectarian violence. Not only between Sunni and Shia that we see very visible in Iraq and Syria, and Lebanon, and Yemen, and Bahrain, spilling into Afghanistan and Pakistan, but also within various groups within Sunni Islam and Shia Islam. As some more conservative groups fight less conservative groups, each trying to impose their ideology and create a new reality and new state. This division have turned this proxy war that has a nationalistic bent to it into a religious war in the minds and hearts of so many young people there. And you can get a taste of it on the social media, where you see the hatred, the comments that are full of anger and hate and bigotry, the videos, the so-called scholars or religious leaders trying to stereotype everybody else. And the fourth dimension to this is the fact that so many people are left behind. Across the Middle East, millions of people are living in poverty. They are living without opportunity, and they lost hope. Since the collapse of the world economy in 2008-09, and the rise of the prices of commodities, basic food staples, bread, milk, eggs, where people could not afford anymore. They were poor, but now they are starving. They were in debt, but now they are totally broke. While there are elite across the Middle East playing with millions of dollars, living above the clouds, spending lavishly with no concern for the poor or the needy, the orphans and the widows. When you have such a gap between rich and poor in any society, regardless of religion or ethnicity, that society will be torn apart. And some have described the wars in the Middle East as wars, economic wars, the poor revolting against the rich. 90% are revolting against the 10% who control all the wealth and all the resources. I'm sure there are many other factors, such as modernity, globalization, the availability of social media, the awareness that creates hope for people, they want to change their lives.